Hey everybody, my name is Tim O'Boyle. First off, I want to apologize for not being there tonight. I had to travel last minute for work, so I had to put together this video. It's kind of weird talking into it instead of being there in person. But I just wanted to make this video. Hopefully you guys can see the slides and the video at the same time. I'm going to just give an introduction to our topic tonight. My colleagues John Moore, David Foppert, Justin Britton, and Fred Schultz are also going to present with me tonight in person. So I'm going to kick it off first. If we go to the agenda, I'm going to give a brief overview of the agricultural services industry, immigration law within the United States. Dave and Justin are then going to cover the agricultural sector, and Fred and John are going to cover the services sector. And what they're going to do is they're going to present both sides of the argument, for and against it, their ethical opinions, and then we're going to open it up to class discussion. So the class will be able to, voice your opinion about this topic as well. So the agricultural services industry by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they define it as everything even beyond the farming business as well. So the food services, restaurants, bars, textile and apparel manufacturers, forestry and fishery, and then also the farmers as well. It contributes about $775 billion to the U.S. economy. It's about 5% of the U.S. GDP. About 13% of all household expenditures are food related. About 9.3% of the U.S. employment comes from the agricultural sector. That's 14.2 million jobs. 11 million of those jobs come from the food services sector as well. And if you see the chart to the right, kind of gives an overview of the distribution of those and the growth since 2005. Unfortunately, a lot of the research out there is outdated. This comes straight from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's website. And so this, you can imagine what it looks like today, continues to grow and become a bigger part of the U.S. economy. As a side note, the U.S. unemployment rate right now is about 5.5% as of February, and this is pretty much declined since 2009 when it reached 10% average of the United States. In 2011, the U.S. Census said there was about 5.7 million employers within the United States. 99.7% of those businesses were 500 employees or less, and about 89.8% of those employees had less than 20 employees. I only say that because it kind of puts this into perspective that a lot of the jobs out there are small businesses. A lot of them, you can imagine, have illegal immigrants as employees. Sometimes they don't know. They don't have the resources to do background checks, etc. I'm generalizing it a lot, but, just kind of framing the argument here. If you go to the next slide, so unauthorized immigrants. There are currently 11.2 million in the United States as of 2012. 6 states, California, Texas, Florida, New York, New Jersey, and Illinois account for 60% of those unauthorized immigrants. Nevada is estimated to have the largest national share of 8%. What's interesting is that 7% of K through 12th graders in the United States have at least one unauthorized parent as of 2012. Mexicans account for 52% of those unauthorized immigrants. So there's a lot of immigrants from other countries as well. Unauthorized immigrants make up 5.1% of the U.S. labor force. That's an estimate. And then also unauthorized immigration to the United States has been relatively under control over the past couple of years. The United States, President Obama has issued an executive action in November 2014 to allow 4 million of these immigrants to apply for work visas and temporary relief of deportation. So there's a lot of government action going on. That plan has not been approved yet. A lot of states are pushing back, such as Texas. Federal judges are reviewing it. And I don't know if Justin can talk more about that, but it's definitely a hot topic right now in law, and we'll see a lot of it come back up when we start talking about elections for next year. So immigration law, it's currently illegal to hire someone who is not authorized, does not have the work papers to work in the United States. The Immigration and Nationality Act says that employers must hire legal U.S. citizens with an I-9 form, and they must keep it on hand for at least 3 years after employment. However, there are some exceptions where, like the H-2A program, which allows agricultural employers to hire non-immigrant foreign workers for a seasonal amount of time, a short amount of time to work, and as visiting laborers, I guess. So the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is the nation's federal law enforcement for immigration customs. They do border control, they do trade and immigration, homeland security and public safety. I mean, they cover everything. They have a $6 billion operating budget, and they, as I said, they're broken into HIS, which is the Homeland Security Investigators, and then the Enforcement Removal Operations. So they deport people that they find that are working or living here illegally, and they're a law enforcement agency. They prevent terrorism. Their strategic plan says that they prevent terrorism, they enhance security within the United States, they protect our borders against illegal trade and travel and illegal finance. And they also go into businesses and they investigate people that are hiring illegal immigrants. And they will fine you with a federal felony if you do any of these three things on the right. So a person commits a federal felony when he or she assists anyone in either transporting, sheltering them, or assisting them in getting an employment in the United States. If they encourage aliens to remain in the U.S. by referring them to another employer or by acting as an employer or an agent of an employer. And they also will, still a felony to knowingly assist an illegal immigrant, even if you're personally convicted or if you think they have the right to stay within the United States. And the fines are as follows: $250 to $2,000 for a first-time offender, $2,000 to $5,000 fine for second-time offender, $3,000 to $10,000 for a third time or more, and pattern offenders can end up in jail or have extra fines on top of that. So it is illegal, and very much so to assist them in any way. So it's strictly enforced with the number of employers within the United States. Some slip through the cracks. We all know it, and that's why we picked this topic, is because we think that it's really relevant to small businesses. Many of us will one day have to hire people, and we'll definitely come across some times where we may be able to, or maybe put in a situation where we have to consider is it ethical to hire somebody even though they're not able to work here, but they're able to work for cheap, or they're able to put in the hours and put in the effort. So I'm going to just stop there, and I'm going to hand it off to my other colleagues to talk about the rest of the debate. Thank you. Hopefully this video was helpful in framing our discussion tonight. Again, apologize I can't be there. So I hope you all have a great rest of the discussion, and I will see you soon. Bye.